A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Mariam Vijayaratna. Let's have a look at the headlines first. President declares his desire to rebuild Sri Lanka at the United Nations General Assembly. Sri Lanka signs comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he intends to lead Sri Lanka towards sustainable and stable recovery and growth to benefit all segments of society. The president said this during his address at the United Nations General Assembly in New York yesterday.
Restoring to the regraduation of Sri Lanka's economy, coupled with the gift of fertilizer from the United States government, which led to a bumper harvest, has assisted us in ensuring stability during that period. The reforms I have since initiated in the economic, financial, institutional and reconciliation fronts have been directed on the one hand towards rebuilding trust and confidence between the people and the government, and on the other towards laying the foundation for economic stabilization and recovery. Sri Lankans are already witnessing the positive outcomes of these measures in their daily lives and the revival of confidence internally and externally in the progress of the country. It is my intention to lead the country towards sustainable and stable recovery and growth, which will benefit all segments of Sri Lankan society in all parts of the country, ensuring a future of peace, prosperity and reconciliation for the present and future generations of women and men. In reaching this goal, we will be accompanied by the support, trust and solidarity of our own people and of the international community.
Speaking at the UN General Assembly, the President also said that global solidarity to restructure the international financial architecture is the key attaining the Sustainable Development Goals and to reverse climate change.
Mr. President, national efforts alone will not suffice to ensure the success of the SDGs and reverse climate change. The need for global solidarity to restructure international financial architecture is paramount. This is articulated loud and clear in multiple global fora, including in G20 and the BRICS. The Secretary General's SDG stimulus highlights the interconnections between the achievements of the SDGs, combating climate change, and the concrete interventions required by creditors, sovereign and private, as well as by IFS, including to mitigate the debt crisis. It is estimated that the 2008 financial crisis cost the US economy $4 trillion. Recent studies in US have stated that the impact of the pandemic on the US economy from 2020 to 2023 would reach $14 trillion. These numbers would more than double if the rest of the global economy is added. We have not faced an economic crisis of this magnitude any time before in our modern history. The cost of World War II in today's US dollars would amount only to $4 trillion, and the Marshall Plan would be $150 billion. This is the magnitude of the challenge before us.
Minister of Industries Dr. Ramesh Patirana said that historically many governments have neglected investing in the growth of the country's industrial sector in favor of providing welfare. The minister said this delivering a speech at the inauguration of new labs under the Industrial Technology Institute of Sri Lanka recently.
Unfortunately, that COVID pandemic was followed by economic recession and also other social calamity, political upheaval and also change of governments, and all that happened in Sri Lanka. I think 1 year down the line, having experienced all that, we are gradually coming back to normalcy. But unfortunately, our times are not that great because of the fact that the world now go through economic recession. The SME sector contributes nearly 52% to the industrial sector development. Our services sector is the largest one, where we generate about 52% of GDP. whereas our plantation sector and the agriculture sector still lags behind with 8% contribution to the economy. But on futuristic basis, we think yes, services sector can make people richer. Our tourism sector is coming back to normalcy. We recorded more than 1 million tourist arrivals this year so far. We might go up to about 1.8 million tourist arrivals, which is one of the highest in the recent history. This tourism industry, the services sector can make people richer. But I firmly believe for the country to be a richer one, we need to strengthen the industrial sector. So we have to broad base government-wise and also the otherwise, we have to spend little more for the capital expenditure for the industrial sector development. Unfortunately, it has not happened so far in this country. Since we gained independence for last 75 years, we have spent a substantial amount of money for the free education, free health development of the country, which are considered as some of the best areas in the world.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri said that Sri Lanka's ratification of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty aligns with its long-standing and comprehensive policy on nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. The Minister of Foreign Affairs said this at a press conference on EU Article 14 conference on CTBT earlier this week.
I'm pleased to take part in today's press briefing on the EU of the Article 14 conference of the Comprehensive Nuclear Ban Test Treaty as a representative of a country that ratified the treaty in July of this year. Sri Lanka's recent ratification of the treaty is in accordance with our strong and consistent policy on nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. Sri Lanka was amongst the first signatories of the CTBT in October 1996, just days after the treaty became open to signature. Prior to entry into the force of treaty, Sri Lanka reaffirms its strong commitment to the treaty's objectives and regards the treaty as our best guarantee against nuclear proliferation and for our collective security against nuclear threat. Given the current reality of rising geopolitical tensions and our recent failures to adopt a substantive outcome at the NPT Review Conference, the treaty especially is important. We join the call for the states, especially those whose ratification is required for the treaty's entry into force, to take concrete measures toward ratification. Sri Lanka's long-standing commitment to nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament will remain steadfast, and we are committed to extend our complete support to achieve this objective. I wish to add that last Tuesday, I had the pleasure to deposit the Sri Lanka's instrument of accession to the TPNW.
The National Agrarian Unity of Sri Lanka, in collaboration with agriculture specialists and farmers, stress the need to promote good agriculture practices in Sri Lanka. The group of farmers and academics highlighted this at a press conference held in Colombo recently. The group of farmers and academics hopes to create a national discussion on establishing a roadmap for the betterment of the agricultural sector of Sri Lanka. The community stresses that the chemical ban by the previous government was the right move, but it lacked meticulous planning, resulting in an utter failure. The group said that the agriculture sector of the country is in dire condition due to the importation of unregulated and highly toxic fertilizers. They pointed out that as a result of the use of inorganic fertilizer, the Sri Lankan population as a whole have been forced to consume highly toxic food products.
මෙහෙම කතාවක් ගොඩනගෙන්න අපි හේතුව ගත්තාම මේ පහුගිය දවස්වල ලෝක සෞඛ්‍ය සංවිධානයේ නිර්ණායකයක් ඉදිරිපත් කරා ආසියාවේ වැඩියෙන්ම වසවිස කන රට ලංකාව. වැඩිපුරම බෝ වෙන වසංගත ලෙඩ රෝග වලින් ළමා ජනගහණයෙන් පෙළෙන ලෝකයේ ප්‍රතිශතයක් විදිහට ගත්තාම ශ්‍රී ලංකාව. වැඩිහිටි පරපුරක් විදිහට බෝන වෙන වසංගත ලෙඩ රෝග වල ගොදුරක් වෙලා වකුගඩු නැතුව අක්මා දිය වෙලා තමන්ගේ ජීවිත කාලයේ සන්ධ්‍යා සමය ඇඳට රෝවලට ය아가න්න බැරි වැඩිම මිනිස් ජනගහණයක් ඉන්නේ වැඩිහිටි ජනගහණයක් ඉන්නේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ පුරවැසියෝ ඉන්නේ අපේ රටේ. බරපතල ඛේදවාචකයක්.
Speaking at the event, Senior Professor Saman Senavira said that Sri Lanka has all the natural resources, including the biodiversity, and that soil to practice better agriculture practices.
මේ රටේ කෘෂිකර්ම මාර්ගයට දැනට අපේ දායක වෙන්නේ අපේ දල ජාතික නිෂ්පාදනයේ 108යි. මේක අවුරුදු 3ක් ඇතුළත මේක ඩබල් කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේක ඩබල් කරන්න ලොකු රොකට් සයන්ස් ඕනේ නැහැ. එතන ඉඳන් තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ දිගටම. මම කියන්නේ ඒකේ ලොකු කර්තව්‍යයක් තියෙනවා මේ දැන් අපි කතා කරන කාබන් එක පොහොර කියන එක. ඒක කොහොමද වෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක ගැන මම කතා කරනවා. වෙන ගොඩක් දුර පහතයක් නැහැ. අනිත් එක තමයි මිස් කරන්න බැරි අපේ රට කියන්නේ මහා බ්ලෙස් වෙච්ච රටක්. මම ගොඩාක් ට්‍රැවල් කරලා තියෙනවා. ලෝකේ හැමතැනම වගේ වැඩ කරලා තියෙනවා. කෘෂිකර්මාන්තය හා සම්බන්ධ වැඩ කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට අපේ රටේ තියෙන ස්වභාවික සම්පත්තිකම ඒට හා සමාන කොහොමද මම කරන්නේ. සුමාතක කලින් මම ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ මෙල්බර්න් ඉඳන් මම එළවුවා බ්‍රිස්බේන් එකට කිලෝමීටර් 2500ක් විතර. ඔක්කොම වෙනස දැක්කේ මම සෙන්ටිග්‍රේඩ් අංශක දෙකක වෙනස් වීම විතරයි මම දැක්කේ. අපේ ලංකාවේ මම පොළොන්නරුව ඉඳන් ඇවිල්ලා නුවරඑළියට ගියා. මම දැක්කා මේ රටේ තියෙන මයික්‍රෝ ක්ලයිමේට් පැචස් කියන ඒවා. ඒ කියන්නේ කාර්බන පද්ධති මම කියන්නේ 50ක විතර දකින්නේ. බයෝඩයිවර්සිටි කියන්නේ මේකේ දකින්න ඇති මම හිතන්නේ ස්පොට් එක 50ක්වත් දකින්න ඇති ඒත් එක්ක හදන හැම ගස් තුනකටම අලුත් ගහක් තියෙනවා. මේ කොහෙවත් නැහැ.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back with the stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 48.54 points to close at 11,256.52, and the S&P SL20 gained 24.16 points to close at 3,178.59. The turnover was 1.1 billion rupees and over 33 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all we have for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Have a great weekend.